All right, let's begin. Om ajïäna-timirändhasya jnananjana-çaläkayä cakñurunmílitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutpad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhupya Evacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvishe Namo Namah. So we are on chapter 4 and we were learning about Yagya. Bhagwan is talking about sacrifice. Yagya means sacrifice. Sacrifice makes you sacred. We discussed about that. Different type of yagyas he spoke. I will just revise it again so that we remember everything. So he started speaking about Yagya from Shloka number 24. That is where we ended last time. He goes on saying, in this chapter, especially in actually my mind is going between two chapters because in Hindi class we already got into 5th, now we are into 4th, so I have to go back again to the 4th chapter. So 4th chapter, Bhagwan started talking about karmas, remember? And he told Arjun, yes, it is very difficult to understand what is karma and what is vikarma, what is akarma, but you must know it. And we discussed in detail about karma, vikarma and akarma. Karma is those prescribed duties that you have to do. Vikarma is those duties which you should not be doing. Those forbidden acts you should not be doing. Those are vikarma. And akarma means those activities which will not bring any result. Means surrendering it to God or living in that consciousness that I am not the doer. So there are two ways to do akarma. One is following the path of Sankhya, where you are not the doer. Second is following the path of bhakti, where you are still not the doer because Bhagwan is making you do it. And you're doing everything for God. So like that. And Bhagwan went on saying that one is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. Important thing in both. Devoid of sense gratification. Not doing for yourself, but doing it for others. When you are doing it for yourself, you are selfish. But when you are doing for others, you are selfless. That is service. Okay. So Bhagwan is focusing on that. Just don't live for yourself, live for others. Do things for others. We anyways do that. We do it for our own family. But we think this family is mine. Bhagwan says, no, go beyond the family too. The whole world is yours. Why? Because they all belong to me. If you love me, you must love everybody. Simple. So Bhagwan says, main thing here is one who is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work has been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. Work for others, but no expectation in return. Work for Krishna, no expectation in return. Okay. Abandoning all the attachment to the result of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive actions, although engaged in all kind of undertakings. Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence, perfectly controlled, giving up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus working, he is not affected by sinful reactions. Then we read 22nd Shloka, he who is satisfied with gain, which comes of its own accord, and who is free from duality, who does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, is never entangled, although performing actions. This thing what Bhagavan is saying, he'll repeat in every chapter. Even if today we are doing 5th chapter in Hindi class, same thing Bhagavan repeated. Every chapter, this is one question which people ask. How do we know what practicing Gita is? This is what it is. What is Siddhi? Bhagavan says here, what is Siddhi? Siddhi means mastery, perfection. What is that perfection? I always say perfection, enlightenment. People have these rosy ideals, lofty ideals in their head. I will see this, I will see that, I will hear this, I will, something unnatural will happen, something miraculous will happen, I'll get so much powers. Gita is not talking about all that. Gita asks, in Gita, Bhagavan is asking you to first know yourself and go beyond all these little things. This is the biggest siddhi, because this is the biggest mastery over yourself. This is the biggest perfection. One who is satisfied with gain which come of its own accord. Now here, this statement, sometimes people misunderstand and they'll think, oh, so I will not do any work from today. Let whatever has to come by it'll come by itself. No, you will have to work. You will have to work. And after working, whatever comes by its own accord, you have to be happy with that. The lion, if he is hungry, nature will arrange a deer to come. But if lion just sits there, oh, the deer will come and get into my mouth. No, it is not possible. The deer has come. You're a lion. You will have to stand up. You will have to go attack. And you'll have to eat. Nature will only make the arrangements. That's all. Working you have to do. And then whatever comes of its own accord. The lion will not complain, oh, I want the deer every day. Whatever comes. And sometimes nothing comes. But nature will give. As long as a lion is destined to live. Similarly, as long as we are destined to live, we are going to get. We will never be in shortage. Shortage is in our mind. We'll always get. But we will have to work. If somebody thinks, I will not work, you will have to work. Some work you will have to do. Okay? So he who is satisfied with gain, which comes of its own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy. Bhagavan goes on talking about this every chapter. No envy, no envy, no envy, no envy. What do you mean by envy? A little bit competition with the world. Oh, that person is getting so much, I am not getting it. We go on making money. We buy a beautiful house. We feel powerful. Oh, wow, we bought a beautiful house. We call everybody housewarming. Everybody is happy, and then we feel puffed up. I got a beautiful house. Then you go to somebody else's house and you see, oh my God, they have such amazing furniture. My house does not have a furniture. Now let me go and change all this furniture. Then you go and buy a good furniture. Then you see somebody else bought a good car in your building. Oh, he got this car. My car is so old. I have to buy. You go on buying another car. Somebody is going to foreign trips every year. Oh, that guy is going to foreign trip. I am not able to go. I have to also go. You're also then. So this is slight envy, competition. That guy is getting, I am not, I don't have it. And then you're sad. Yeah, those people have it. I don't have it. Why are some people so lucky? They always get things without doing. Why am I not getting? There is little envy. Everybody's life is different. You have something else, that person has something else. So person who is in Krishna consciousness or person who is on the spiritual consciousness, spiritual level, he rises above all this. Everybody is going to get as per their karmas. Whatever I have is good for me. I'll be happy in this. I'll work hard to get anything else. But if I don't get, no problem. If I'm destined to get it, I'll get it. If I'm not destined to get it, it's not good for me. Whatever God is doing is best for me. A spiritual person, a spiritually conscious person is always like this. He's always happy in others' growth. He never feels dejected, never feels depressed seeing somebody else succeed. Who is steady in both success and failure is never entangled, although performing actions. So you have to do everything, and whatever comes, you have to accept it without complaining. 23rd Shloka, he again said, the work of a man who's unattached to the modes of material nature is fully situated in transcendental knowledge, merges entirely into transcendence. And a person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities in which the consummation is absolute, that which is offered of the same spiritual nature. And he goes on saying, some people worship different gods by offering different sacrifices to them, and some others offer sacrifices in the fire of the Supreme Brahman. So Bhagavan here has now described different type of yagyas or sacrifices. So people do yagya, offering to the fire oblations. To other gods, Bhagavan says that is accepted. It is all mentioned in the Veda. Some people are meditating and they are offering themselves in the fire of Brahma. They are also doing yagya. And some people, they control their ears by not listening to anything, only gossip or anything. They only hear Veda Vakya, the statements of Vedas or scriptures, or so they are controlling their ears, hearing power. So that is also yagya. So Shravan that we do every day, 1 hour, we are talking about Gita. This Shravan is yagya. Yagya means you are hearing, your ears are doing yagya, sacrifice. I am speaking, my mouth is doing kirtan, yagya. So we both are sitting together. I am the speaker, you are the listener. We both are doing yagya together. And if you both are not, if we both are not there, if all of us are not there, I am sitting alone, then during that time, when nothing is there, when my mind is not occupied with anything, I will chant Bhagwan's name. Chanting Bhagwan's name, I told you last time, Bhagwan said, my name itself is Yagya. Everything else is to do Yagya. But if somebody is chanting my name, the name itself is Yagya. So when nobody is around, my mind is always chanting. So mind is always doing Yagya. Yagya is happening. So under all circumstances, Bhagwan has asked us to do Yagya. Yagya. Yagya means sacrifice. I'm using the word Yagya because it is easy. Every time if I use the word sacrifice, I think something else. Sacrifice means to give off something. That is how my mind interprets sacrifice. Sacrifice means to give off something. No, I'm not giving off something. I'm doing a Yagya. A Yagya means something that is going to make me sacred. A Yagya means something that will make me pure. A Yagya means some activity that is going to purify you, that is going to make you sacred. So sacrifice means sacredness. Sacrifice means purifying. Sacrifice means Yagya. Yagya means purifying. Got it? So like that. So Bhagavan then went on saying, some who are interested in self-realization through control of mind and senses offer all the functions of all the senses and of the life breath as oblations into the fire of controlled mind. So those who are sitting and meditating, doing dhyana, etc., they are also doing yagya. Any activity that you are doing to purify yourself and to realize your true nature is yagya. And then he said, some people are doing all these methods, but there are others who are doing charities, dravyagya. Then there are people who are doing tapayagya. Tapayagya means being very, tapa means, tapasya means being very, practicing humility under all circumstances, being very patient under all circumstances, not raising your voice over unnecessary things, not trying to control your anger, trying to control your unnecessary desires. You should know what are your priorities in life, analyzing your life, where to waste your energy and where to put your energy. You should know. So all these things is tapayagya. So somebody who is very aware of all this, not doing activities which will, which is going to make you impure, which is going to disturb your peace of mind. So that is called yagya. So he says, having accepted strict vows, some become enlightened by sacrificing their possessions. Means giving everything to people. Whatever you have, sharing is caring. Other perform severe austerities by practicing the yoga of eightfold mysticism. Some people do that Patanjali yoga, Hatha yoga. Bhagavan says that also is yagya. And some do swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means read the Vedas or the scriptures. So that is also yagya, to advance in transcendental knowledge. So all these different type of activities also is considered, is acknowledged by Bhagavan. Whatever effort you are making to grow spiritually, to advance in transcendental knowledge, all these activities are considered as yagna. Okay, which is going to make you transcendental. Then Bhagavan went on saying, still others who are inclined to the process of breath restraint to remain in trance, practice by offering the moment of outgoing breath to the incoming and the incoming breath to the outgoing, and thus at last remain in trance, stopping all breathing, others curtailing the eating process, offer the outgoing breath into itself as sacrifice. So there are people who practice this also. Pranayam, this they know. And in pranayam, they just go into trance. So outwardly, because they are in trance, outwardly it looks like they are not doing anything, any yagya or anything, but they are situated in trance. During the moment of trance, no karma is happening. They could go to the point of even stopping their breath for longer hours. So even the breath has stopped. Mind will not think, the body will not think. Breath has stopped. For some time, all the functions are stopping. Only the prana is there, only the shakti is there. Energy, that energy is holding you, prana shakti. And you are in trance. Bhagavan says this is also yagya. Do not think that they are not doing anything. They are doing yagya. So that also Bhagavan is accepted. It doesn't mean that any of these are small or big, okay? Now he'll go on saying, in 30th, he makes it very clear. Because when we hear of all these methods, our mind immediately goes, oh, maybe this method is better than that method. Maybe this pranayam method is better than the dhyana. Maybe that, what Bhagavan is saying, Shravan is better. Maybe the kirtan is better. Maybe the charity is better. Maybe the austerity is better. What is better out of all this? Naturally, this question is going to come. Which one is better? Bhagavan has spoken to so many things he's speaking. Which one is better? Bhagavan says very clearly, all of them. But one thing he says, this is his style of saying, he's very diplomatic at times. Sarve api yagya vido, yagya kshapita kalmashaha, all these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice, become cleansed of sinful reaction. Yagya shishtamrita bhujo yanti brahma sanatanam. And having tasted the nectar of result of the sacrifices, they advance toward the supreme eternal atmosphere. O best of Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice, one can never live happily in this planet or in next life. What then of next? He goes on saying in 32, Evam bahu vida yagna vitata brahmano mukhe karma jan vidhi tanastan sarvanevam gyatva vimokshase. All these different type of sacrifices are approved by the Vedas. And all of them are born of different types of work. Knowing them as such, you will be liberated. Bhagavan says you will know. If you know it, you will be liberated. All of them are approved by Vedas. If you do charity, if you like doing charity, do the charity, but do not think you are the doer. God gave you money, God gave you things, so you are able to give it. You are just an instrument. If you're doing austerities, do not allow the ego to develop. Oh, I am greater than everybody else. I'm doing austerities. I do fasting. I have cleansed myself. I chant so much malas. No. No ego boosting here. Do the austerities. That is also right. You're doing it for your purification. You are learning books, putting your hard work. Do not get puffed up. Oh, I know so much more than anybody else. Do the yagya. That's all. And be very peaceful under all circumstances. No ego at all. So Bhagavan says, you should know this, all of these Vedas, and then all of these things, these are all approved by Vedas, and you will become liberated. And then in 33rd he said, Oh Arjuna, the sacrifice performed in knowledge is better than mere sacrifice of material possessions. Bhagavan now gives the highest one. Highest one is to get jnana yoga. Without knowledge, if you are doing any of this, then it is not good. So sometimes people say, oh, I have to go fast. Fasting means without knowledge. I'll tell you what without knowledge. I'm giving an example. So, oh, Navratri is coming. I'm going to fast. I've seen people, oh, Navratri is coming. I'm going to fast 9 days. I'm like, wonderful. So fasting means what they do. So different people will, boast. Oh, in our home, we eat food, but we don't put salt. Wonderful. Some people will be like, no, we just drink hot water. Wonderful. Some people are like, we don't eat sabudana, we don't eat sago, tapioca, we don't eat this and that, but we eat this. Okay. Some people will be like, we do only one time. Okay. And there are some people, Navratri starts and their questions will be like, what are the different recipes? They'll be looking on internet for recipes. So for them, Navratri is not fasting. Navratri is change of recipes. So there are, in India, I went one time in Navratri and I was like surprised in some of the hotels, they have fasting thalis. And that fasting thalis will have like 25 items. I'm like, this is fasting. So it will be made only up of those fasting thali items are made only of fasting items. Kuttu ki puri, paneer something, paneer and all, whatever, sago, aloo, sweet potato, aloo means potato, sweet potato. So many different varieties they'll have. Yogurt, sama khichdi. Like the whole thali is like around 25 to 30 items and unlimited. And that is only for Navratri ki thali. I'm like, wow, this is fasting. And people go there, Navratri fasting. So this kind of fasting, what you are doing right now, the Navratri ki thali in hotel, this is without knowledge. You are only purpose of Navratri fasting was to take your mind away from cooking, to take your mind away from food and the sensory gratification of the tongue and to focus on God. But instead of that, during Navratri, your mind is only going on thinking, what item should I cook? What I don't cook normally, this Navratri, I'm going to cook. If the mind is going like that, then what is the purpose of that austerity? You're not performing austerity. So when Bhagavan says austerity performed in knowledge, sacrifice performed in knowledge is better, this is what he means. Then there will be some, till, the day Navratri starts, first day of Navratri. Okay, because they have thought in their mind, every year I have seen my father doing, my mother doing, so this year I will also do 9 days of fasting, only hot water or only juices, whatever they decide. There'll be no logic to why they have decided that. They don't have knowledge. They have seen someone doing it, so they don't want to do it, and they think by doing it something good will happen, whatever their desired result they want from it. So right before, okay, so the previous night, they will eat so much and their family will push them to eat so much. Eat more, 9 days you're not going to eat. 9 days you're not going to eat more, eat more. And they will stuff their stomach with everything, puri, chole, think of all those rajasic food, very fried and very heavy foods. They'll eat it up because next 9 days they need energy, right, to survive if they don't eat. And the family will push them and they'll eat it. And next day they start their fasting. Now they started fasting of water. Oh my God, they start having acidity, then their gas will go, then the gas will go up in the head, then they have headache, then they have vomiting, they will have whatnot symptoms. What is the purpose of this austerity? There are people who perform austerities of, they want to walk on the coals. Have you seen those? To please some divine mother or divine goddess or somebody, whomever they think, they will walk on hot coals. Austerity. They pierce themselves with needles. Austerity. What is it going to give you? This kind of austerities, which you have only seen others doing and then you followed it without actually getting the knowledge. Bhagavan, when he says austerities means, when he says Yagya, he's pointing out to this kind of austerities, that sacrifices done in knowledge is better, because otherwise these sacrifices are just sacrifice of material possessions. You did fasting. You thought you're not eating food, but that was just a sacrifice of your food. Food is material. But you didn't perform the proper austerity. Fasting means, the word comes from steadfast, being steadfast. Steadfast means being resolute. Resolute in what? Resolute in determination. There's a word for that, drid vrat. We took away the drid, we kept the vrat. Vrat means we say, oh, we don't have to eat food. Same, English also the same thing we did. Instead of steadfast, we just use the word fasting. Fasting means not eating food properly. But no, the whole goal is being steadfast for 9 days. Our mind, our organs, all our activities will be dedicated in remembering Mother Goddess for 9 days, or whatever you are doing your sadhana. In a year, 4 times we will take a break from our daily schedules. 9 days, 36 days. There are 360 days. In a year, 365. Out of that, 36 days, we will take it out to remember God. And those 36 days in a year, we will not think of anything else. Our mind, our organs, everything fully dedicated to remembering Ma. So those systems were brought. How to remember Ma? Read the Durga Shapshati, chant the mantras, everything, whatever. So knowledge. So if somebody is fasting, goes to the Guru, understand the process. The process is to train your mind. The process is to train your organs, not for sense gratification, but for God. Then with knowledge, if you're doing the austerities, then it is good. Without knowledge, if you're doing the austerities, then it is sacrifice of material possessions. It is not going to give you the benefit. You'll only keep bragging, oh, I can fast for 9 days without food. That's all. You've still not got God. You didn't develop the love for God. You read the Durga Shapshati without knowing the bhav of it. You know it, but you don't have the bhav. It was just a ritual. Just a story. You read it for the sake of doing it. So one has to know the knowledge. So Bhagavan here is stressing on Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yagya. People do donation. So the material possessions, just sacrificing a material possessions, no. With that mindset that God has given me and I'm giving God's thing to God. Swadhyaya, people read books. So you're taking time out to read books. What kind of books are you reading? What kind of sadhyaya are you doing? Is that helping you grow spiritually? Or is it just an entertainment? Like people like to read novels, so similarly people like to read books which come under spiritual category. Again, that is an entertainment to the brain. That's all. You like to read so many things and then you can argue. So that kind of knowledge is not knowledge as per Bhagavan. You put your time, you put your effort, but that is only your material. It's only making your ego grow. So it is not. If it is not making you spiritual, then that is a waste of time. So Bhagavan is stressing on one thing. Whatever activity you are doing to grow transcendentally, it has to be full of knowledge. Full of knowledge. So Jnana Yagya. He says the highest Yagya is Jnana Yagya. Sacrifice performed in knowledge is better than mere sacrifice of material possessions. O son of Pritha, all sacrifices of work culminate in transcendental knowledge. How do you get this knowledge now? Where will you go and get it? Bhagavan says in 34th Shloka. You have to go to the Guru who will teach you. What is the purpose of a vrata? What is the purpose of a fasting? He will teach you the knowledge. I am giving you the knowledge right now. Do not torture your body. Do everything properly. Sometimes people will go, oh, I won't sleep. I will eat very less. I will chant so many mantras. I read about Haridas Thakur, so I want to become Haridas Thakur. It is good determination. But go there slowly. Overnight you won't become. Live a balanced life. Bhagavan is taught in chapter. Now when we enter chapter 6, you will know. I will mark those shlokas. Bhagavan is told to sleep properly, to eat properly, and to have some fun in life also properly. It cannot be just one-sided. A yogi is that person who has balanced everything. Have some fun also in life, no problem. Don't make your life boring. Because then the mind will be so bored, it will lose interest in spirituality also. So you should know how to balance. So this is jnana. I will not sleep. And then I'll fall sick. I will not eat. Then I'll fall sick. This kind of austerities by which you cannot even maintain your body is not considered good by Bhagavan. He will talk about this in the future in Gita. So you have to learn this knowledge properly. How do you know this knowledge? You approach the Guru. This is now 34th Shloka. He is telling the same thing. Tadvidhi pranipratena pariprashnena sevaya upadyakshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshinaha. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Enquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So here now, for knowledge, Bhagavan is mentioning Guru's position. Sometimes people say, oh, we can learn the Gita by ourselves and we will know it. We don't need a Guru. Not possible. Not possible. No matter how knowledgeable you are, no matter how good English you can speak or you can, you know. Without the Guru, the concept will never be clear. Never be clear. There is some mysticism about this. Maybe other books you can read, but this one is not possible. This is a very higher course. Like if you want to become an engineer or a doctor, can you just become an engineer or doctor by reading it yourself? No, you have to go and approach the teacher. He has to teach you so many concepts. And he has to show you practically so many things. Then you can become a doctor, engineer, CA, CPA, lawyer. For everything, even in the world, you have to do an internship. You have to work under somebody. You join a job, even for a clerical job, you will have to work under somebody and learn. When in the world, for simple things, you have to learn under somebody. This is spiritual knowledge. So you have to go to a spiritual guru. Without the guru, it is not possible to learn Gita. I have seen many people, they'll be like, I don't want to go to any guru. I'll learn it myself. Not possible, not possible, not possible. Wasting time, that's all I have. Now I have experience, so I'm like, okay, let them do whatever they want to do. It is wasting time. You will not understand anything. Few of the shlokas, maybe it will, you will sync with your thinking, your thought pattern, but the details you won't understand. And another thing I have seen that if somebody is like, okay, I just want to know about Bhakti Yoga, so I will read only this many. And somebody is like, no, I just want to know about Advaita, so I'll read only this much. If you read Gita like that also, you will not understand. It is always better. Gita is like a sadhana. This is Swadhyaya Yagya. We are doing Swadhyaya Yagya. Understand? Gita Gyan Yagya. This is Gita Gyan Yagya. Gita Gyan Swadhyaya Yagya. We are doing Yagya every day, 1 hour. I'm not doing Swaha Swaha. Mantras I'm not chanting. But everything that God has spoken is mantra. Every teaching that is giving is mantra. Mantra means something that can liberate you. Liberate your mind. That is mantra. The teachings here can liberate your mind. This is mantra. Mantra comes from God. This comes from God. This is mantra. So we are doing Gita, Gyan, Yagya every day. We don't have to take a shloka and do swaha. No, Bhagavan is not wanting those system. People have made it. I don't know from where that came. But Bhagavan only wants you to learn this and practice in your life. Make your life a sacrifice. Bhagavan is not saying sit down and then chant my mantras and chant these shlokas and put havan. No, he's not asking that. He wants you to practice and make your life a sacrifice. How do you learn that? You go to the guru. If you want to learn about money matters, you go to somebody who knows about money matters. If you want to learn cooking, you go to somebody, some catering school. Similarly, if you want to learn spiritual knowledge, you go to those who know this. Tattvadarshi. The word given here is Tattvadarshi. Go to the people who know this Tattva, who know this essence, who are the seers, Darshinaha, who are the seers of truth. You go to them. Bhagavan, in Gita, in Srimad Bhagavad, he says, Archaryam maam vijaniyaat. Anybody who's speaking, and this he's telling to Uddhav. He says, same thing what he has spoken here, he has spoken to Uddhav. He says, Archaryam maam vijaniyaat. Know that the one who is giving the knowledge of Gita, understand that person is my representative. He is me only. Do not think that a person who is giving such knowledge, the tattva, the seers of truth, do not think them on bodily platform. Because that way you will be misled. I am speaking through them. Acharya maam vijaniyaat. And he goes on, never envy him. Never disrespect him. And for he is a representative of all gods. Sarva devo mayo guruhu. He is a representative of all God. So, never disrespect the Guru. And this you must practice in every aspect of life. I'm telling you, every aspect of life. If you really want to succeed, not only spiritual aspect, even your material worldly aspect. If you have learned something good for somebody, be very grateful to them. Even in the past, sometimes you may have met some fake gurus. Maybe you had fake, people cheated you or whatever. But for some time, if they were the guru, give them the respect because Krishna sent them. And from their fakeness, from their false habits also, whatever they did to you, from that also you learn something. what not to do. Guru Tattva. This is what Tattva Darshana. Respect to everybody. But from somebody who has changed your life, obviously. Then he says, Archaryam maam vijaniyaat. Understand, he is my representative. He is my representative. He is the representative of not only me, all gods. Okay, so here, I'll just read the purport of this. The path of spiritual realization is undoubtedly difficult. The Lord therefore advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession from the Lord himself. No one can be bona fide spiritual master without following this principle of disciplic succession. The Lord is the original spiritual master, and the person in the disciplic succession can convey the message of the Lord as it is to the disciple. No one can be spiritually realized by manufacturing his own process. This is not acceptable. Whatever you are learning, I went to my Guru Maharaji and like we have so many experiences. So sometimes we discuss. So he said, whatever experiences you have, if those experiences match with the experiences spoken in the scriptures, then they are correct. If they don't match, then they are not correct. So that is where you understand, oh my God, what he's saying. You need to know the scriptures. You cannot manufacture anything on this path. You should not. And if there is some guru who just says, oh, I didn't learn the Gita, I didn't go to any guru, I became selfless myself, and this is my method, this is my thing, this is my... So, okay. The blind leading the blind. This is what is going to happen. Every proof. The biggest guru, Bhagavan says, is him himself. If there is a guru, the guru will give you the teachings of Gita. It is impossible that the guru is not giving you the teachings of Gita. The guru should know the Gita. And if he says, I have not learned Gita, I don't know Krishna, and I don't care, I am myself God. And if you want to follow them, blind leading the blind. Simple. That is what Dattatreya also is telling. That is what Parashuram also is telling. We are reading Tirupurahasya. We heard there. This is the situation of the world. So here Bhagavan says, there is a parampara that goes. Every student, every teacher was a student. He has learned from some gurus and then he is able to give. Okay, so this is what disciplic succession means. No one can be spiritually realized by manufacturing his own process, as is the fashion of the foolish pretenders. The Bhagavatam says, Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. The path of religion is directly enunciated by the Lord. Therefore, mental speculation or dry arguments cannot help lead one to the right path. Nor by independent study of books of knowledge can one progress in spiritual life. One has to approach a bona fide spiritual master to receive the knowledge. Such a spiritual master should be accepted in full surrender, and one should serve the spiritual master like a menial servant, without false prestige. Satisfaction of the self-realized spiritual master is the secret of advancement in spiritual life. Inquiries and submission constitute the proper combination for spiritual understanding. Unless there is a submission and service, inquiries from the learned spiritual master will not be effective. One must be able to pass the test of the spiritual master. And when he sees the genuine desire of the disciple, he automatically blesses the disciple with genuine spiritual understanding. In this verse, both blind following and absurd inquiries are condemned. Not only should one hear submissively from the spiritual master, but one must also get clear understanding from him in submission and service and inquiries. A bona fide spiritual master is by nature very kind towards the disciple. Therefore, when the student is submissive and is always ready to render service, the reciprocation of knowledge and inquiries become perfect. The student also knows the teacher, and the teacher also should know the student. And why is this required? Why approaching the guru? Why this knowledge is required? Bhagavan says, Yagya-tvana punarmoham evam yasyasi pandava yen bhutani aseshani drakshasatmanyatho mai. Having obtained real knowledge from the self-realized soul, you will never fall again into this illusion. For by this knowledge, you will see that all living beings are but part of the Supreme, or in other words, they are mine. You will realize me, and you will realize everybody is inside me, including you. You are a part of me. And then you are liberated. So here he has used the word Drakshyasya atmanyatho mai. You will see your whole yourself as soul, and you will see others also. They're all within me. They're all mine. This is what is important. And this is liberation. And then 36 slokas he goes on saying, Api chedasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamaha sarvam jnana plavaineva vrijinam santarishyasi. Even now he gives us very powerful statement. This is one of every shloka of this is so beautiful, but here he empowers you specially. He's like, whatever you must be in the past, don't care anymore. Even if you are the greatest sinner of the past, because you are in ignorance, still he says, even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross the ocean of miseries. Such a powerful statement. You realize that? You are suffering. You are in misery. Why? Because you did karmas in the past. Those karmas brought results, and now you are suffering. You were not knowing what kind of karma should I do. You thought good karma, bad karma. You were stuck only there. But every karma is bringing a result. You were not knowing. Then God came and, his blessing, he has opened the chapters of Gita for you. And through the Guru, he is telling you again and again, why fall into that misery again? I'm teaching you the easier method. Surrender your karmas to me. Think of me. Put your mind and intelligence onto me. Give your intelligence to me. Do the karma. Surrender it to me. Live your life as a Yagya. And be liberated. In the past, you must have done something. No problem. You're suffering. Understood. But get the knowledge. Get the knowledge I'm giving you. It is given in Gita. Approach a guru, learn from him, and apply it in your life, and cross this ocean of misery. This knowledge is that boat which will take you away from this ocean of misery. Bhagavan is saying, even if you are considered most sinful of all the sinners, do not worry. Take this knowledge of Gita. Cross your ocean of misery. Come out of it. Bhagavan says, as a blazing fire turns firewood to ashes, O Arjun, so does the fire of knowledge burns to ashes all reactions to material activities. It will burn it off. In this world, there is nothing so sublime and pure as transcendental knowledge. Such knowledge is the mature fruit of all mysticism. Bhagavan has used one word in 38th shloka. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate tasvayam yoga sansiddham kalena atmani vindati. He says, this is yoga sansiddham. This is the mastery of all yoga. 2 yogas only he has spoken. And in the world, there are only 2 yogas. I told you this. If anybody makes anything else, any other yoga, it is their yoga. That is his opinion, his method. But whatever yoga in the world that has come from Bhagavan, it is only divided into Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga, Sankhya Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. And the mastery of all this mysticism is getting that transcendental knowledge. Aham Brahmasmi, Prajnanam Brahma. I am the Brahma. Brahma means I am this super conscious energy. I am the soul. I am Atma Brahma. This soul is Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. Knowledge is Brahma. Bhagavan says there's nothing more sublime and pure as this pure knowledge, transcendental knowledge. Such knowledge is a mature fruit of all mysticism. If you have got this knowledge, the one in Gita, all that practices that you did is now coming to a fulfillment. And one who becomes accomplished in the practice of devotional service enjoys this knowledge within himself in due course of time. Simple. And then he goes on saying, so God has spoken so much, Krishna has said so many things. And then he adds on. He says, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatpara sat sayatendriyaha jnanam labdhva param shantim ajïäna-timirändhasya. A faithful man, those who have faith in these teachings. A faithful man who is transcendental, who is dedicated to this transcendental knowledge, which is given in the Gita, and who subdues his senses, is eligible to achieve such knowledge, and having achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace. We call it blissful state. If you know this knowledge, you have to have faith in this knowledge, and then have faith, and then practice it. Ado Shraddha, first faith, then satsang. Satsang is what we are doing right now. And then bhajan. Bhajan means practice. Bhajan means serving. Service. Kirtan. Remembering. Contemplation. Meditation. These all come in bhajan kriya. If somebody is doing all this, he will quickly attain supreme spiritual peace. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Those who are Shraddha, faith, will get this transcendental knowledge. And those who don't have Shraddha, don't have faith, what happens to them? Bhagavan says, Agyascha saddhanascha samshayatma vinashyati. Samshayatma vinashyati. Those who have doubt in this, they will be, they will have a fall down. So have faith in these teachings and walk on the path. Walk on the path. Practice it. Ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness, and they fall down. For the doubting soul, there is no happiness, neither in this world nor in the next. Doubting soul has no happiness. So you have to trust, and you have to walk on the path. My father only taught me this. I can spend my life arguing and debating and trying to get the answer through arguments. But it is not possible. How much argument can you do? And all the answers are given in Gita. So practice it in your life and see the results for yourself. You will know, you will be teaching others. The answers have been given. We have to faithfully accept it, walk on the path, and realize it. If we walk on the path, we realize it. We will. The end goal is peacefulness, blissfulness, happiness, never-ending happiness, and we will live happily ever after, just like those Disney movies. And if you don't have faith, we will spend life reading thousands of books. This argument, that argument, it will lead us nowhere. Bhagavan in 41 Shloka says, Yoga sanyastha karmanam jnana sanchinna sanchayam atmavantam na karmani nimadnati dhananjaya. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his action, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is actually situated factually in the self. So again and again, Bhagavan will say, renounce the fruits of your actions. Become detached. All the doubts have to be removed. How will he remove? Go to the Guru, learn from him the revealed scriptures, and Gita is the essence of all the Vedas and Puranas. I am myself giving it to you. Learn from the Gita. There is no other greatest Guru than me. If you know this knowledge and you are situated in the self, if you know who you are, that's it. Your work is done. Thus, you will not be bound by any reactions of the work, O conqueror of riches. Here his name is Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya means people can be very rich. People can have all the wealth. But what's the point of the wealth if it does not give you happiness? We were reading Tripura Rahasya and we learned what Parshuram is thinking and how Dattatreya poked him. Oh, you have so much riches. You have so many kings you killed, and you have conquered so much land and lokas and places. You must be very happy. Have you controlled your anger? He knew what Parshuram was thinking on the way. What anger did to me, how bad anger is, what is the point of this wealth? People run after wealth, and then they earn so much of money, but their very own people become their enemies. Their wife, the rich person's, Parshuram says, right? The rich person's wife and the son are thinking, when will this old man die and we can enjoy this property? How bad that wealth is. He's always in fear that somebody will kill him or somebody will take him or somebody will cheat him. What is the point of having so much riches if I cannot control on my desires, if I cannot control on my anger? So same thing, Bhagavan, he is using the word here, Dhananjay, for Arjuna. He calls, oh Dhananjay, oh conqueror of riches. Unless somebody knows his self, what is the point of life? He says, one who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his action, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus, he is not bound by the reactions of work, O conqueror of riches. And then he tells him, Tasmad ajïäna-sambhutam hitastham jnana sinatmanaha chitvainam shanchaya yogam tishto tishtata bharata. He says, O Bharat, O Arjun, stand and fight the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance. Slash them by the weapon of this knowledge. Go and fight. I will read the purport of this. Shloka number 42. The yoga system instructed in this chapter is called Sanatana Yoga, or eternal activities performed by the living entities. This yoga has two divisions of sacrificial actions. One is called sacrifice of material possessions, and the other is called the sacrifice of self, or called the knowledge of self, which is pure spiritual activity. If sacrifice of one's material possessions is not dovetailed for spiritual activity, if sacrifice of one's material possession is not dovetailed, then such sacrifice becomes material. But one who performs such sacrifices with a spiritual objective or in devotional service makes a perfect sacrifice. When we come to the spiritual activities, we find that these are also divided into two, namely understanding of one's own self or one's constitutional position, and the truth regarding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who follows the path of Bhagavad Gita as it is can very easily understand that these two important divisions of spiritual knowledge, for him there is no difficulty in obtaining perfect knowledge of the self as part and parcel of the Lord. And as such understanding is beneficial, for such a person can easily understand the transcendental activities of the Lord. In the beginning of this chapter, the transcendental activities of the Lord were discussed by the Supreme Lord himself. One who does not understand the instruction of the Gita is faithless and is to be considered to be misusing the fragmental independence awarded to him by the Lord. In spite of such instructions, one who does not understand the real nature of the Lord as eternal, blissful, all-knowing personality of Godhead is certainly rule number one. Ignorance can be removed by gradual acceptance of the principles of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is awakened by different types of sacrifices to gods, sacrifice to Brahman, sacrifice in celibacy. All these different type of things are again listed. Sacrifice to the devatas, sacrifice to the Brahman, sacrifice in celibacy, in household life, in controlling the senses, in practicing mystic yoga, in penance, in forgiving, in foregoing material positions, in studying the Vedas, and in partaking of the social institution called varnashram dharma. All of these are known as sacrifice, and all of them are based on regulated action. But within all these activities, the important factor is self-realization. One who seeks that objective is the real student of Bhagavad Gita. Okay? Real student of Bhagavad Gita is one who seeks the objective of self-realization. Whatever you do, go to that path. Go to the highest path. But one who doubts the authority of Krishna falls back. One is therefore advised to study the Bhagavad Gita or any other scripture under a bona fide spiritual master with service and surrender. A bona fide spiritual master is in the disciplic succession from time eternal, and he does not deviate at all from the instruction of the Supreme Lord as they were imparted millions of years ago to the Sun God, from whom the instructions of Bhagavad Gita have come down to the earthly kingdom. One should therefore follow the path of Bhagavad Gita as it is expressed in the Gita itself, and beware of self-interested people after personal aggrandizement who deviates other from the actual path. So importance of Guru and what kind of Guru is given here. Okay, the Lord is definitely the supreme person and his activities are transcendental. One who understands this is liberated person from the very beginning of his study of Bhagavad Gita. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports to the chapter number 4 of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of transcendental knowledge. So we ended chapter 4 today. Tomorrow we will start chapter 5. Let me see your comments and we'll end up the class. Ma, how will I know God realization happened? I mean, how will one know ki ho gaya kaam apna? Living body consciously, knowing our time of death, darshan of Sri Krishna or Mother Divine, basking in the joy of samadhi, knowing where I will go after death, before death, dying, remembering God. All these answers are going to come in aage ja karke, Bhagavan is going to answer. But yes, how will you know God realization happened? Those qualities that he is describing, first those qualities have to happen. And you're always in the joy of God. Always in the joy of God. The joy of God never leaves you. Never leaves you. Joy of God never leaves you. And you're always detached. Not in a very unhappy way. In a very happy way. You have everything. But you're never attached to anything. The detachment will always be there. Bhagwan is always speaking through your heart. You have that very special relationship with him. He talks. So all these things happen. Whether you will know your time of death or not, you are not bothered about that. What is death? There is no death. There is no death. You are deathless. Whether you will go to Bhagwan's place or not, yes, you will. You will know it. So there is no death. Body is there. It is going to decay one day and it will go and get mixed up into the elements. Done. So he does not care whether he knows the time of death or not, whether he'll control the death or not. No, he doesn't do all that. He's always in the joy of God. मैं प्रेम द प्याला पी आया, मैं पल में सदिया जी आया. That situation, he gets into that. मैं रमता जोगी, he becomes that. Okay, so always basking in the joy of samadhi. Again, samadhi you have to understand. Samadhi does not mean we are just sitting and we are lost in the trance. Every time from the past 2 hours I'm teaching, I'm in samadhi because my mind has not even for once gone to the world. When I leave this, the class is over, I go cook food and everything, whatever. I'm cooking it for God. I'm in samadhi. And when I get my break time, I close my eyes because since morning 4 o'clock, I'm only thinking about God. I close my eyes. Only God is coming in my head. I'm in samadhi. I am never away from Him. So basking in the joy of samadhi, 24 hours. 24 hours. Dancing in the joy of samadhi. मैं प्रेम दा प्याला पी आया, मैं पल में सदिया जी आया, मैं रमता जोगी. This is the situation. Okay. Knowing where I'll go after death, before death, I told you. After death, God has given us the goal. Once you reach there, you never come down. How do you reach there? Bhagavan will talk in chapter 8. He says, just remember me and leave the body. So that relaxation, okay, I have to only remember Him and leave the body. How will I remember Him? While I'm living, I should remember Him. Then at death, it will naturally come to me. How do I remember Him? How do you remember a person? If you love somebody, how will you remember that person? That person is not in front of you. How do you remember? You remember his face, her face. You remember their names. That's how you remember Krishna. His name, at least, you'll say, okay, I have not seen him. At least you know his name. There are two names, Krishna and Bhagwan. You know his name. Call him Bhagwan, Krishna, Krishna. He's speaking through the Gita, right? At least you know the name. When you start calling him by name, he will come one day. What he will come one day? He's always there with you. I have to talk in your language, come one day. He's always there in your heart. He never left. You are not able to see because there is a thing called unmélitaà. When you forgetting, there's a word called dehatma buddhi, going away from dehatma buddhi, going away from this bodily consciousness. The moment you move away from the bodily consciousness and you're engrossed in the thought of Krishna, Him and you are at that moment one. That is oneness. When people talk about oneness, it is there, He's there and you are there. And you both are there. And He's talking and you're talking. And you're having fun and He's having fun. There is no serious talks. It's fun. It's joy. It's love. What do you talk in love? Think of those moments of love. When you really love somebody, and you're sitting with them, you don't know what to even talk. Love makes you just quiet. You just enjoy that moment. Because the moment you talk, that love will just get disturbed. So sometimes when you love some people, you are sitting with them, you forget what to talk also. Just the presence is happiness. So all these things happen. All these things happen. Okay. All right, Ma, although I understand that by keeping 6 scriptures, Arya litmus test, one can be sure that one is making progress in the right direction. But I also think it's a catch-22 that if I read scriptures and know these conditions for success in the spiritual field, then those concepts are formed by mind and play out in sadhana. Thus, I wonder if it is correct or not. I guess that is where the trust in the Guru comes in, who can guide you. That yes, this experience is right and this experience is only projection of the mind. That is why I like Gita, because Gita is not giving you any projection of the mind. Say if you read Tripura-rahasya, in that there is something, you see, oh, Devi appeared with her 18 hands and Devi had this long hair and there are so many flowers and then she's having this crown and, so you are thinking of Devi and Shivji came and Shivji was in his tamsik roop when we are reading Tripura-rahasya. And we talk about Vishnu and Vishnu is just sleeping and Lakshmiji is right now massaging his feet. All these things will give you some projection. Okay. But in Gita, absolutely zero. There's only 2 people here talking, Krishna and Arjuna. And throughout the conversation, you forget Arjuna. It's only you and him. Not even one place does he talk about thinking, imagining, visualizing, never. He's just telling you, improve this quality, improve that quality, take this away, take that away. Understand this is Brahma, Paramatma. That's all. He's like so clear on his gyan. He's so clear on the concept. No confusion at all. No diversion, no visualization, nothing. In the end, only he remains. So only him. So the focus, wherever it just comes to only him. This is the beauty of Gita. So this one you can 100% trust. There's no catch 22 here. The only person who catches you is him. Only his net is there. Okay. So yeah, here there is nothing. There is no confusion, nothing absolutely. Now you're hearing, you're getting so much concepts, and you're listening to so many things. That's why when I used to teach, I used to only teach Gita, no other scriptures along with it. I don't even get people into Bhagavatam unless they finish Gita. For this reason itself, Gita is just two people, and it's so clear. It's so clear. But Bhagavad Puran or any other Puran you read, any other scriptures you read, there are so many characters, and then you get diverted in the story. It's a maze out there. But if you know the Gita, your clarity is very strong, then everything else becomes easy. So there is no catchy things here. Everything is very clear up to the mark. Repeatedly, he'll talk about that. Okay, whether it is karma, you have to understand what karma is. He's explained it very clearly. So many different types of karmas. He has spoken about them. Dvaita, Advaita, he has spoken about them. He'll go on speaking about dhyana. Very clearly, he'll give the instructions. He'll speak about bhakti yoga. Very clearly, he'll give the instructions. There is no confusion at all. At all. So this is the best book ever. Got it? So read. This is the scripture that has to be read first. And then you can go to any other scriptures. You will not be confused. Got it? Asking this so that I should at least keep something tangible to be steadfast on my journey. So far, extreme curiosity is pulling me ahead in the path. Advaita is told, knowing yourself is the ultimate. I started putting my effort and energy into reading Advaita scriptures and contemplating on them. Dhyan is told, Samadhi is the pinnacle, dude. I started putting my efforts for meditation practice. Shakta is told, Devi Ma. Now you are telling Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. I'm saying Krishna's teachings. And Bhagavan also said the same thing. Bhagavan said, you should know this jnana. You should know this transcendental knowledge. That is liberating. देवदास मूवी का शाहरुख खान वाला हाल हो गया. बाबूजी ने कहा गांव छोड़ दो, सबने कहा पारो को छोड़ दो, पारो ने कहा शराब छोड़ दो, आज तुमने कहा हवेली छोड़ दो, एक दिन आएगा जब कहेगा दुनिया ही छोड़ दो. और भगवान बोलेंगे अरे दुनिया छोड़ के मेरे पास आ जा, सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य माम एकम शरणम व्रज. मैं हूं ना. भगवान वही तो चाहते हैं, तुम दुनिया छोड़ दो, मेरे पास आ जाओ. भगवान जो तुमने कहा ना देवी की बात, भगवान बोलते तुम्हें तो देवी समझ ही नहीं आई. तुम देवदास इसलिए बन गए, तुम्हें को समझ ही नहीं आया. तुम समझ जाते तो बात अलग थी. तो तुम देवदास इसलिए बन रहे हो क्योंकि तुम अज्ञान में हो. तुम ज्ञान में आ गए तो तुम्हारा काम बन गया. आज जो क्लास जब हमने चौथी वाली जब अटेंड, व्हेन वी फिनिश द फोर्थ क्लास, आई मीन फोर्थ चैप्टर, दिस इज व्हाट ही इज टॉकिंग अबाउट. Know the knowledge. Know the knowledge. Because you are ignorant, that is why you are lost. If you know, if you have the knowledge, you are not lost. This is where we ended today, right? Again, I'll read it for you. Just for you, I'll read it. Bhagwan's reply to you directly. Wait, he says, as a blazing fire turns firewood to ashes, O Arjun, so does the fire of knowledge burn to ashes all reactions of material activities. In this world, there is nothing so sublime and pure as transcendental knowledge. Such knowledge is the mature fruit of all mysticism. What you said here, let's see your statement. You said, curiosity is pulling me. Advaita said, self is the ultimate. One mysticism you practiced. Then you said, I started putting my effort and energy into reading Advaita scriptures. Yes, you did one swadhyay, one mysticism you were practicing. And then Dhyan is told, Samadhi is pinnacle, dude. Okay, you practice another mysticism. Wonderful. I started putting my efforts. Shakta is told Devi Ma. Third mysticism. Yes. Now, Ma, you are telling Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Fourth mysticism. And Krishna is putting his statement here now. Full and final. He started from saying, okay, those who think these are two different paths, they are stupid fools. So Krishna has taken that away in fifth chapter. If you're listening to the fifth chapter, here again he's saying, knowledge. Such transcendental knowledge is the mature fruit of all mysticism. You were suffering in all those places. You didn't get it because you didn't get the transcendental knowledge. Now, Bhagavad Gita is the transcendental mature fruit. That's a word. Yoga sansiddhim, mature fruit of all mysticism. So you have come to the final now. If you understand, I'm telling you, if you understand this, everything else you will understand. We have already entered 5th chapter in Hindi, if you're hearing that. Bhagavan said very clearly, the Advaitis are saying something, the Dhyanis are saying something, or the Shaktas are saying something, whatever, they're all, if somebody is talking like part, they are alpagya. They have they have not understood it clearly. But the Pandita, the Jnani, knows it very clearly. There is no difference. Ye yatha. Now, whatever you told, the 3 things, Bhagavan has very clearly mentioned the answer. Ye yatha maam prapadyante tam tataya bhajamiham. However you worship me, I will come to you. So if you follow the Advaiti part, but you didn't have the knowledge clearly, knowing this knowledge, you follow the Advait, then you will know it. Knowing this knowledge, you follow the Advait, you'll know it. Knowing this knowledge, you follow Lalita Tripura Sundari, you'll know it. This knowledge was missing. Everything else you are doing. Everything else, what I call as sahyog, everything else you are doing, but you don't have the knowledge. The foundation is weak. If the foundation is strong, then everything is good. After learning the Gita, and I'm the one reading, 2 reading, 3 reading, contemplate, and then go back to your life and see where all mistakes was done. You will know it. Getting it? So Bhagavan is giving the torch of knowledge. The Guru only gives the torch of knowledge. Work you have to do. So here he has said, such knowledge is the mature fruit of mysticism, and one who has accomplished in the devotional service enjoys this knowledge within himself. Within himself. I told you, you'll go back and you'll know. Within course of time. And a faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge. Got it? And having achieved it quickly, attains the supreme spiritual peace. That's it. Therefore, the doubts, again, he's telling it to you. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his action. Renouncing the fruits of the action. So with all those 3 practices, what was the fruits that you were thinking? Think of that. Even renounce that. Whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge is situated factually in the self. Thus is not bound by the reaction of the work. Therefore, O Gaurav, Dr. Gaurav, Krishna is saying, I'll say in Sanskrit, Tasmat ajঞানা sambhutam vritsitam jnana samhita jnana sinatmanaha chitvainam sanshayam yogam atishthotishth bharata. Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart and out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. So all the doubts should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. I am not telling Krishna, I am not telling anything. Krishna is asking you to get this knowledge. Got it? This knowledge is the essence of everything. Beautiful class, Ma. Sorry that I have to exit, no worries. Ma, your brain must be a very pleasant place to be. Yes, 100%. I love inside me. Cannot even tell you. My mind is my best friend. Oh, and so much joy inside. I can very easily cut off from myself and get inside and sit in the cave of my heart and chill and enjoy with my mind. My mind is my best friend. That mind is nothing but Krishna's extension. So we are both best friends. We both enjoy inside the cave of our heart. 24 by Samadhi sounds fantastic. Do me a favor, please give me a corner in that brain consciousness. Mera kaam to ho gaya. Fir living in the consciousness of the Guru, the ultimate about for any soul. Yes, keep me in your consciousness. No, keep talking to me. That's how it is. Ma, you're so adorable. Thank you. Ma, now I understood Bhagwan's strategy is to make Jiva go round and round in circles so much that chakkar khake bole, hey Prabhu, I surrender at your feet. Khatam, tata, bye bye. Yes. Ek ghante se, you know. That's his strategy. He will talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, or make you go round and round and round and round and round so that you surrender into him. Simple. Once you surrender, you're also at peace. And he is the happiest. Sachi mein Aman bhai, I feel exactly the same. Thank you for such an amazing explanation. Thank you. Maza aa gaya. Aap pehle kyun nahi mile mujhe maa? Dimag ka baji pala ho gaya tha itne saal se. Samay aane par hota hai, wo ghuma raha tha na. He was making you go round and round and round. All right. Nice class. Had fun. We'll see you tomorrow then same time. Jai Shri Krishna. Have a Krishnamay night and Krishnamay day. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you, Ma.
Hari Bol. Thank you.
Hari Bol.